Here we go. Aswand Cruickshank, your one and only Move Swiftly speaker, checking in for a daily Move Swiftly thought, giving you a perspective on teamwork that you will not get anywhere else. Right off of the heels, maybe about 12 hours now from the announcement that Caleb Williams from the DMV has become the most recent Heisman, the 2022 Heisman Trophy winner. And there were moments, man. There were moments throughout that entire segment, throughout that entire 30 minutes that were just incredibly powerful. All right. His father, the most powerful one to me was when his father, Mr. Williams, was watching his son give the speech, and you saw his eyes were watering up, tears in his eyes. A black man, emotional on national TV. You take your typical black man, you take him back to childhood. He's like, wait, motherfucker, you crying on national TV as a grown man, as a grown black man, and how powerful that moment was. And it took me back, man. It took me back, especially when they're talking about the losses of championships and just what this game of football, what it does for your black men, for the black men who are involved as parents, as coaches, whatever it is. All right. So a couple stories that I have to tell you. All right. First and foremost, the first one is when I was a kid. It's a kid playing for the Briggs Cheney White Oak Warriors. Understand there's a difference between the White Oak Warriors and the Briggs Cheney White Oak Warriors. All right. The Briggs Cheney White Oak Warriors had the uniforms like the Michigan Wolverines, which, by the way, is why to this day I'm a Michigan Wolverine fan. The last year of that entire organization, I was on the 85-pound team that made it all the way to the Super Bowl, okay? And I don't have time to get into the entire season. I would be on here literally for an hour if I was to give you every little piece of information that I picked up week to week in terms of how the community came together and all that stuff. I just have time to give you one story right now, one story. It was the game, the Super Bowl, the actual Metropolitan Super Bowl where we played the SYA Wildcats, the top team out in Northern Virginia. And there was a teammate of mine, his name was Lorenzo Reed. Zoe, his mother, Miss Mia, and Mr. Ernest were kind of the team parents. You know, Miss Mia was the team mom, which I guess unofficially made Mr. Ernest, his father, the team dad. All right. So that morning, that Saturday morning that I will never forget, he comes to the high school in which we played at, which is Blair High School. And Zoe, first thing Zoe says to me and a bunch of us as teammates, he goes, look, my dad said if they call my name in the announcements, because this was a bigger venue for us, right? They call my name in the announcements, then I get $2. He kept telling every single teammate, every single person that he saw, every person that arrived, he was saying that same thing, just preaching it. Get $2, right? So we get in the game, and we lost the game 18-15. 3 motherfucking points. 3 points. And it took them calling a holding penalty on the other side of the field to... Anyway, let me not get started on other politics. I promise you I won't get into the politics because it still fucks with me to this day. It happened when I was in 7th grade. It happened over 20 years ago, and it still fucks with me. But anyway, the moment I want to get you to, the moment I want to tell you guys about, is when Zoe actually made a tackle. He made a tackle, and the announcers called his name out, and I looked at Zoe, and here's what Zoe did to the sideline. He went to the sideline, he just goes, he puts his hands up, he goes, two. And I look over at the sideline and I see Mr. Ernest ready to burst with pride. Like, yeah, like tears in his eyes. The same way Caleb Williams' father had tears in his eyes. It was the same exact thing. And it took me back to that moment. Now, you fast forward to I was 27-ish. So probably about 20 to 15 years later, when I was a linebackers coach for Blake High School, and I coached under a guy named Deshaun Anderson, which, by the way, Coach Anderson, we have got to get you on the Move Swiftly podcast. Please hit the DM. Please text me. Got to get you on the show. I'll be keeping up with what you've been doing, man. All right. So, there was a moment when it was he and I at the Baltimore Ravens Stadium. I believe it's M&T Bank Stadium. I'm not sure if it's still M&T Bank Stadium, but it was a moment in which it was kind of a coach's clinic in which we had the boys. We had Kenny, we had Carlton, and Manny Thomas. Kenny Gardner, Manny and Carlton Thomas. These were like the three guys. They were juniors at the time, and I guess he kind of picked them as the guys that were going to lead the new Blake, quote unquote, right? So there was a moment in which he was talking to them, and what he didn't realize is he was talking to me. He was talking to I was technically not a player, but I was hearing what he was saying, because he goes, look, man, I had a situation when I played that my father didn't make it to the banquet. My father didn't do this, and he started opening up in ways that I had never seen Coach Anderson open up ever. And he started to open up to the boys the same way, like the same thing that you saw last night with Caleb Williams, his father. And the bottom line, I say all of that, I'll break all of that down to say this. Fathers who are listening to me, and this is not black, this is not white, this is not Mexican, this is not blue, green, whatever it is. If you got a boy or a daughter, even fuck it, anything as a kid, when they're passionate about something, make it your point, make it everything, do everything, exalt every possibility for you to simply be there for the important events, okay? Because they are life-changing, and as you saw last night, and as you're listening to me now, you see how much of an effect it has on the kind of positive adult, positive member of society they will be. It sticks with them for a lifetime, all right? I have more, a whole lot more on this. Just stay tuned. The main website is makeyourmove.com, MAKEYAMOVE.com. That's where you can see all the episodes of the Move Swiftly podcast. That's where you can purchase the Plus LY athlete bundles, the business bundles, the Plus LY gear. We got the Run Club. We're getting ready to start the Move Swiftly Marathon. About to get jumping off this year. There's a ton of things going down to this in the next 12 months. It's unbelievable, all right? So it's makeyourmove.com, one-stop shop to find all of those things, all right? Aswand Cruickshank, your one and only Move Swiftly speaker, checking out. You guys continue to move swiftly. We will talk more soon.